You're locked into Hits 92.3. The views, stories, and opinions shared on this program belong solely to the hosts and their guests. They do not represent the views of Hits 92.3 Radio, management, staff, partners, advertisers, parent companies, or affiliates. And if you don't know what any of that means, listener discretion is advised. Now sit back, turn up your volumes, and enjoy the content from one of the greatest, dopest radio personalities to ever touch this microphone in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, kings. Welcome, queens. You have tuned in to the King Raphael Show. Here is elevation, is the expectations. Yo, so this is the very first episode. I'm so excited to join with you and just share things that I've learned throughout the years, throughout my journey. Yo, I'm even wondering if my daughter's listening. If so, Daddy's on the radio. What up, baby girl? My daughter, Alani Gentry, I love you so much. Now, just a little bit about me, your host, King Raphael, before I get into everything. I'm a Southern University graduate. HBCU life, yes. Go Jags. I finished my undergrad in political science. I received a master's in mass communications. Moving from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I took a trip on to the dirty South, to Atlanta, Georgia, and guess what? I wanted to be a rapper. So that's why I moved here, to pursue my career as a rapper. And it's interesting, we have our goals and our dreams, but God has a whole nother plan. I didn't end up being a rapper, but I ended up working at CNN. And my first job at CNN was really eye-opening because I really saw what Ted Turner did. And I said, you know what? If he did something like this, maybe I can do something like this. So I began and started my own media company while working at CNN. And the name of my media company, which I still have today, is RMG Media. And that is Renaissance Multimedia Group. And currently we film one show right now, but I've done dozens of shows. I've shot some films. I've done a lot in my career. But right now I'm only filming The Hip Hop Traveler. And I really enjoy it. So a little bit about my background. After, moving here to be a rapper, after working for CNN, I actually got an opportunity to become a professor. But one of my really good friends told me about it, Chris Cocktails Cornell. What's up, my brother? And he told me about the job at Spelman College where he was currently a professor at. Now, I didn't think I was going to get the job. But I say, hey, what the heck? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't shoot at, right? So I went for the job. And who knew? I got the job. I got it. Only a fresh 30 years old. I had to be one of the youngest professors on campus. During my time there, I affectionately became known as Professor G, and I really enjoyed the experience. Working at the illustrious Spelman College, I had the opportunity to be around and teach some of the country's brightest minds. And not only did I do it, I loved what I did, and I did it with full integrity. And that's one thing I'm proud to stand on. While teaching there, I actually taught there for 10 years. And during my 10 years, I also taught at other colleges such as Westwood College, Year Up, Clayton State University, just to name a few. So, moving forward from there, around 2019, I began my real estate career while still working at Spelman College. Things went very well in real estate. And, 2020, COVID hit. So when 2020 hit, we all went home for a while. And after COVID was over, I said, what am I going back to work for? I had a different mindset. I didn't have an employee mindset anymore. I had an owner's mindset, right? I understood the value of assets and making assets work for you while you make money, while you sleep. And that was very important for me. So in 2020, I furthered my real estate career. And today I own land in Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, and Michigan. Not bragging, but I'm showing you how good God is and has been in my life. I affectionately became known as the Airbnb King. And today I have another transition. Now I'm King Raphael. And my mission is to help people think differently, move differently, and live differently. That's why on this show, elevation is the expectation. As I think about my many names that I've had, it's very interesting about what you call yourself. When I was a rapper, I was Ralph G. And I act like Ralph G sometimes, right? That was a whole nother person years ago. And then, as I got into my career, I became Professor Gentry. And I was all about giving out information. And then I became the Airbnb King into King Raphael. And now I move as a king would move and try to own territory, right? And things of that nature. So what's a king without territory, right? So today, as we talk about territory and we talk about elevating your life, I like to think of life as a house that you build brick by brick. Now, what's the most important structure of a house? It's the foundation. And for me in my house, God is my foundation that I build my house on. Now, listen, anybody can build a house that looks good, but not everybody can build a house that stands. So the question isn't what you're showing the world. The question is what you're building underneath. Because when the storm comes, and I promise you it will come, it's not your image that's going to save you. It's your foundation. You see, a king was never saved by his crown in a storm, right? But his foundation and his structure will. So one thing I've learned about life is that it's two parts in life. You either just got out of a storm or you're going into one. And that's facts. So every time you elevate, you'll be tested in this life. I think of life sometimes like a video game. And, things are coming at you in this game of life. And then at the end, when you've gone so far, you're up against a boss. Now, it's up for you to defeat that boss. Now, what happens if you don't beat that boss? You got to start the level all over again. Or let me say, you got to start the lesson all over again. See, we repeat lessons until we defeat these lessons, right? Or these trials and these tribulations. So I like to say it like this. With every new level, there's a new devil. You see, you can't advance to the next level until you beat the boss. And sometimes in our lives, the boss can be addiction. Sometimes the boss can be your lust. Sometimes the boss can simply be your procrastination. You see, in the video game, the boss is your enemies. But in real life, God uses your enemies as instruments of acceleration. Did you catch that? He'll use your enemies as instruments of acceleration. This is why you gotta let your haters be your motivators. Okay? So remember this. You can't build on a cracked foundation. So you have to build on something solid. So let's relate this to real life. Your foundation is built privately, but when your house is completed, it shows publicly. Now, you don't build a house by decorating the roof first, do you? You start with the foundation, because your foundation is, if your foundation is weak, it doesn't matter how beautiful your house looks. One storm will expose everything. And that's how life is. You can look successful. You can even sound successful. You can post successful messages on Instagram, right? But if your faith isn't solid, pressure will reveal what's really underneath it. So remember this. Pressure will reveal you or expose you. That's what COVID did for a lot of people. It revealed who they really were inside, or it exposed their inadequacies. The pressure of life will reveal if your foundation is solid. Because after one storm, if the house is still standing, then you know what you've built. And if not, it will expose you and everything will be destroyed. When you think about it, that's what the Three Little Pigs was trying to teach you. I know everybody familiar with that nursery rhyme, right? And you had one pig that built his house of straw, and another pig built his house with sticks, and another one built it with bricks, right? But the wolf The wolf represented the storm. And how did he come at the pigs? Huffing and puffing to blow their house down. You see, the straw house got blown down. The house of sticks got blown down. But the house of bricks, it still stood. Now, God is telling us the same thing in the Bible. If you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 12 through 15, if anyone builds on this foundation using gold, silver, costly stones, wood, hay, or straw, their work will be shown for what it is, because the day will bring forth to the light, and it will be revealed with fire, and the fire will test the quality of each person's work. If what you've built survives, the builder will receive a reward. But if it's burned up, the builder will suffer losses and yet will be saved. But only he'll still have to go through the flames. Always know, one day it's going to come a time in your life that you're going to have to stand on what you built. How did you live in this life? Did you live a life of comfort and build a house of straw? Or would you on some chill stuff and you built your house with sticks? You see, one day you're going to have to stand on it because the storm is coming. You will be tried through the fires of this life. And it's not to hurt you. It's to refine you. You see, even gold has a refining process. You see, when gold comes out the ground, sometimes it's not just gold. It comes with nickel attached. Sometimes it might be silver, aluminum, and there's dirt attached. Now, this gold, to become pure, it has to be burnt at 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then all the dirt from the gold is burnt away. All the nickel, all the copper is burned away. And that's just like your life. That's why you'll be tried to the fires of life to refine you. But see, God is the ultimate jeweler, because now 24 karat gold is what you're left with once it's burnt. And 24 karat gold is soft. It's malleable. It's ready to be used. How many of us out here are ready for God to be used, ready for us to be used by God, because we've been burned in this life? We've gone through some things. We've gone through the trials. We've gone through the fires. We've gone through the storms. And now, and only then, are you ready and truly ready to be used by God, because your faith has been tested and now he can trust you. So let's talk about building this house, y'all. Because there's a house that we all must build in this life so that it can be strong, right? The first thing I told you, you got to have a strong foundation. But before we get into this, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to come back and we're going to lay this whole house down brick by brick. You're listening to the King Raphael Show.
Hey, the secret's out. Hits 92.3 is now accepting submissions for brand new shows. That's right. You could become a radio personality right here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. You don't have experience? That's okay. You don't live in Georgia? That's okay. You don't know what to do now? Now that's not okay. But your girl is here to help you out. Email us today at hits923newshow@gmail.com and tell us about your potential show with Hits. Again, that email address is hits923newshow@gmail.com. Don't be last. The slots are filling fast.
Show, I am King Raphael, and I'm so happy that you're listening, that you're tuning in. Yo, man, we got a powerful show. We're talking about how to build your house from within. And of course, you have to do it with a solid foundation. That's why your foundation is God. Without God, it's nothing. You got to stand on something. And if you want to stand on anything, you better stand on God. You don't want to stand on sinking sand. You don't want to build your house on sinking sand. You want to build it on a strong foundation. This is why the foundation is the most important part of the house. Nobody celebrates it. Nobody sees it, but everything stands because of it. Now, let me give you a visual. In 2024, I had the opportunity to travel to, I went to travel to Dubai. And here is where I visited the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. Now, you think they started building this building at the top? They started digging in the ground to build. To be exact, they had to dig 450 stories deep. And they had to do that because this was the tallest building in the world. So the taller you want to go in height, the deeper you got to dig into the earth. Therefore, you must understand this principle that elevation requires excavation. So in order, if you want to flex your lifestyle, y'all, you got to have a strong foundation to support it first. Especially as men, it's so much that's being placed upon our shoulders from our jobs, from our daily careers, and just being a provider and having to provide provisions. Having the vision and having to execute it, we got to do so much. Therefore, the ground you stand on, it must be solid. Every time you learn a new skill, every time you create a new revenue stream, every time you build a new partnership, you know what that's doing? You're leveling up. You're building levels on top of your foundation, and that is what elevates you. Just as the Burj Khalifa, they had to dig deep just to go high. So the higher you want to get in this life, y'all, the deeper you got to dig. And I'm talking about within. There's some things that are inside of you that you got to excavate, that you got to remove, because God can't take them where you are going. And if you think that you can keep some things with you and go to the top, you are sadly mistaken. You're going to stay complacent. You're going to stay right where you're at. So it's a simple principle. What you build up can only be as strong as what you build down. Y'all caught that? So how deep are you willing to go with God? Because the deeper you dig, the stronger your foundation comes. The stronger your foundation is, the higher you can rise. But most people want elevation without the excavation. They want the crown without the construction. You see, to those of you who are listening right now, remember that there's a spiritual component to this. Depth determines your height. So if you want to go higher, what I keep telling y'all, you got to be willing to dig deeper in your faith. The next things we got to talk about, y'all. When you're building a house, on top of the house, there's pillars. So I want to talk to you about 4 pillars that build your house. Now, men and women have similar but different pillars, and I want to talk about them both. So, a king's pillar. Your life only stands on what you consistently practice. A house doesn't stand because of potential. It stands because of support. You get that? So the pillar number 1 that you must have intact, young man, is identity. This is the who am I? You see, a king must first know himself before he can lead anything else. Clarity and purpose. And if you're not clear on your purpose, it's like getting in a car and driving with no destination. You're just joyriding in this life. You're just shooting the breeze. You're just going with the flow. But let me tell you something. Even a dead fish can go with the flow. You see, there's too many fake people out here, y'all. That's why you got to be strong in your values. You got to be strong in your beliefs. And it's your beliefs is what shapes your character. Now, let me give you a little warning. Be real and don't be fake. Be a strong man of character and be mindful of who you pretend to be, because you will forget who you are. And that person who you are pretending to be, that's who you will become. You see, it's too many of us got gold around our necks instead of putting gold around the foundation of our homes. You see, you got to stay rooted in God, not opinions, because what God thinks matters the most. When a man truly knows his identity, he moves with confidence, and he is not searching, he's certain. Now, the truth is, if you don't define who you are, this world will define who you are. That is the very same reason why, if you don't build your dreams, then someone else will hire you to build theirs. The second pillar is discipline. Now that's how you move. A king is not ruled by his emotions. He's ruled by his actions. See, his actions, they don't rule him. Consistency over motivation. Control your habits, control your time, and control your energy. And let me tell you where I'm at right now. My time is a non-negotiable. Most of my time in the mornings are for myself. They're for God. They're for family. They're for getting my business done. No distractions. I can't give you my time in the morning. You see, we have to have control over these things. There are some habits that I had to let go of. Why? Because it slowed up my productivity. And it was a thief of my energy. So, you got to understand, y'all, about discipline. I like the way Mike Tyson put it. I was listening to an interview with Mike Tyson, and he had a unique definition for discipline. He said discipline is doing something every day that you hate, but you do it like you love it. Now, that was real. That struck with me. That struck a chord in me, and that stuck with me. So what I've learned in this life, that it's your daily discipline that sets your boundaries. And in return, you being a man and standing firm on your boundaries earns your respect from your friends, your family, and people that's watching. You see, you can't go into the gym. Let me say this first. Your future, it doesn't respond to your good intentions. It responds to discipline. You see, you can't go into the gym with good intentions, right? Watch somebody else work out and thinking you finna get swole. That ain't how it go. See, I'm sure people who have been struggling with their weight, a lot of them have good intentions on slimming up, but intentions doesn't help you lose weight. So I've always heard that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So many of us have good intentions and still do the wrong thing. Why? Because we lack discipline. Pillar number 3, dominion. Dominion over everything around you and what you build. You see, a king is a builder. He creates a system. He creates systems of wealth and legacy. You see, that's even biblical. It's biblical that you are instructed to leave an inheritance for your seed. You must leave an inheritance for your children's children so that they can have something to stand on. You see, the problem is too many of our children inherit dust. We got to move on sound biblical principle and leave them something. That's why we must change the mindset of an employee and become the mindset of an owner who has ownership over everything he touches. Build assets, not just income. Multiply your resources and your opportunities will multiply. Let me give you a simple wealth formula. It's very simple. Assets equal income. I wish I would have learned this a long time ago. Y'all get that? Purchase an asset that will bring you some income while you are sleeping. So when you wake up, you are richer than you were when you went to sleep. That's the key of the rich. That's a success tool. You see, the truth is, most people chase money. Kings build kingdoms that produce money. That means you need to be building a system. When you look at something, look at it as a system, because see, we only have 24 hours in a day. This is why you got to put money to work for you and invest. Because when you invest, your money can outwork you any day of the week. This is how you wake up richer than you were when you went to sleep, because your time is limited. Your energy is limited. That's why you cannot chase money. And remember, whatever you chase is running from you. We're going to go to break on that one, and we're going to come back with the 4th pillar. All right? Just building this house, y'all, up from the inside out. This is the King Raphael Show.
Some spaces you walk into, and some you remember. Soft light, intentional design, a space that doesn't just hold your content, it elevates it. This is more than a place to create. it's an experience. For creators who want their work to feel different, more refined, more intentional, more you. Book your space now on Peerspace. Studio Luminaire. Link in bio.
J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. Come on and sing it louder. J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. Now everybody say I'm blessed. I'm blessed. 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 Never met someone who makes me smile for no apparent reason. When I'm feeling down, I call on you to be my comforter. I'm your child. You dry my eyes from tears I cry. Never leave my side. Your love ain't like a season or people. It never change regardless of what we do. You treat us equal, even though I don't see your way out of my situation. Prepare me on a daily, keep me strong. Correct me when I'm wrong. I could've lost my mind, suicide, lost my life. But you gave me more reasons to continue this fight. J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. Come on and sing it louder. J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. I wanna thank you for loving me. Roof over my head may not have much and it humbles me. All it takes is one call of your name, you come running. Even when I'm undeserving, you give it all to me. Struggles I endure, take them away with every little bit of piece of sunshine. Always come through when you're on time. Brighten my day with the best glow. Remind me I'm not alone. Enemies won't steal my shine. Nothing won't stop my grind. Showing out for the 9-9. See, I could've lost my mind. Suicide lost my life. But you gave me more reasons to continue this fight. J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. Come on and sing it louder. J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. Now everybody say I'm blessed. I'm blessed. 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 I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Back to the King Raphael Show. Like, we were talking about how to build your house from the inside out, and we were going over these pillars, and we're on pillar number 4, which is legacy. This is what you leave behind. A king doesn't live for the moment, he lives for impact. Teachers, he teaches people, he teaches his children and those around him. He also mentors them and pours into others because he's full of gratitude. Now, a real king with some real money is not loud. He doesn't boast about his money. He lets his generosity speak for him. You understand? He lets how he treats others speak for him. And he builds something that will outlive him, and that is his legacy. He leaves his family, community, and future generations. Now, how many people listening working a job right now? And when you retire, Can you pass that job down to your child? Probably not. You see, this is why legacy is so important. Because I told you before, a lot of times Black people don't have anything to pass down. Their children don't have anything to inherit but dust. Now, the truth is, a man is measured not by what he has, but by what remains after he's gone. Also, you're not remembered for what you bought. You're remembered for what you gave. Now, let's talk about the house of a queen. This is so important. Of course, it's a brick house. I'm playing. But it is in more ways than one, y'all. So the foundation is the same. It's faith, but she has a divine connection. The foundation is whether her strength is coming from. Before she nurtures others, she is rooted in God. Think of a queen on a chessboard. She is clearly the strongest piece on the board with the ability to move in every single direction. This is why a queen must dig deep and have a strong foundation spiritually so that she can stand every season that's coming towards her and knows how to move in every season. You see, a queen, she naturally understands that depths determine her elevation. So the question is not how high she wants to go, but how deep she is willing to grow in her faith. See, the truth is, the deeper she is with God, the more unshakable she becomes. And the pillars to building her house are similar to a man's, but different. But the similar part is identity. So pillar number one in her home is identity, who she is. You see, a real queen knows her worth, and she doesn't need any validation. She doesn't need your likes on Instagram. She doesn't need validation from a man to set her self-worth. A real queen doesn't need designer clothes to define her. She's rooted in self-love and purpose, not defined by opinions or relationships or circumstances. She walks in confidence and not comparison. She does not compensate, she embodies. She's not trying to bring nothing to the table because she is the table, okay? Pillar number two, grace. And it's how she carries herself, okay? Now, I'm not here to belittle anyone. But queens, you must be mindful of how you carry yourself. See, I saw a lady, and the reason why I'm saying this because I was in Walmart yesterday, and I saw a lady in there wearing full pajamas and slippers. And we were out in public, and I'm just like, okay, I guess. But and there's also another trend that I keep seeing around, cheeks out when we ain't on the beach. And it's all love, but a real queen moves with poise. Even when Instagram is showing her how to look, even when this world is saying that you should dress this way, even when she's under much pressure, she's still poised. She has emotional intelligence and self-control, and she responds instead of reacting, maintains peace without losing power. You see, the truth is, her grace is not weakness. It's a refined strength. And anytime a queen, you make her upset and she doesn't destroy your ego by a death of 1,000 words, consider that her grace for you. Number three, nurture. The third pillar is nurture. What she builds, what she pours into. You see, a queen cultivates life wherever she goes. She builds people, environments, and opportunities. She creates a safe space for her to grow and for other people around her to grow. She multiplies through care, through wisdom, and presence, just as your mom did, just as my mom did. My mom is so loving and nurtured me so much. I would not be the man sitting here in front of you now if it wasn't for my mother. My mother helped me to speak to people in confidence. Be the speaker that I am right now. I remember when I was growing up, she would have me say my Easter speech, my Sunday speech in front of strangers. It didn't matter. I didn't like it back then. But today I realized that was her way of nurturing me, nurturing a gift inside of me that I didn't know I had back then. So it's powerful. Also want you to think of a queen as a strong tree. Before she produces fruit, the roots go downwards. You see, the roots, they go deep into the ground, searching for water, nutrients, and stability. Because of this truth, a tree can only grow as high as the roots go deep. So that's when the storms come, and they will come. The wind doesn't determine its strength. Her roots do. And that's the question for every queen. How deep are your roots with God? Because you got to be deeply rooted. And the reason why, y'all, we living in a whole new age. And a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. We're in a whole new age where your roots have to be deep with God, because that's what's going to hold people up. Because there's so many temptations, so many things out there that will cause pressure, and many break under pressure, but not a real queen. Because the truth is about her roots are deep, and that's why she rises so high. The fourth pillar are her standards, what she accepts. A queen protects her energy, she protects her time, and she protects her value. That's why she can't be messing with you. You ain't ready, right? So she has boundaries, and she's firm on them, and she honors her boundaries. And that's how she respects herself. She doesn't settle. She selects. She aligns with what reflects with her worth. The truth is, y'all, she's not hard to love. She's clear on what love requires. And for men, this is why you can't be no nickel out here looking for a dime. You ain't ready yet. Build your value up before you even approach. Now, the roof of every house is the vision of the house. So his and her purpose are both found under the roof, right? So the roof covers everything, right? Even your mission and the assignment. It's the king's mission, it's the queen's mission, and both of their assignments. And the vision gives life alignment and clarity. It protects them both from distractions and misalignments. It guides their decisions in relationships, career, and purpose. Another truth for you. Vision is the ability to see your future so clearly that your presence starts to align with it. And that's one of the secrets of manifestation. That's why when you hear people say the I am principle, I am money, I am success, I am powerful, you have to say it so much until you start to believe it, because you are programming every single cell in your body. And the neurotransmitters in your body that relate electronically the message to every single cell in your body knows how to feel and knows what the reality is. Because see, what you think is in the invisible. It's in your mind. Your mind is a garden. So you plant seeds with thoughts and words, and it's in there. But see, the job of your body is to bring to life in the physical what's in the unseen. And one of the main ways you do it is plant seeds, plant words of affirmation. Say it so much until your body and your mind believes it, until everything you do aligns up with it, until you see what you say. So I'm going to tell you this, you better speak it until you see it. Keep speaking it until it becomes reality. Your vision isn't what you see with your eyes. It's what you refuse to let go of in your spirit, even when nothing around you confirms it. So when a king and a queen, when they both unite under the same vision, God is in the midst, and they complete each other, and they also multiply one another. And that's the power of marriage. That's the power of the union. That's the power of people coming together under one vision, working as one. But see, when there's multiple visions in the house, then you have division. It's separate. I'm not going to even go down that road. But now, Now that you've created your house, y'all, it's time for you to maintain your home. You got to maintain it because there's grass outside that needs to be cut. There's seeds that need to be planted to make your home fruitful, right? Seeds are your revenue streams. Maybe you planting the seeds in the stock market. Maybe you're planting seeds in real estate. All the while you're watering it. And you got to follow principles. What do a seed need? A seed needs water, it needs sunlight, and it needs dirt. So what am I saying? You got to plant some things in the dirt and be hidden for a while until you're ready to God to expose you. That's when you germinate and break ground. But I'm telling y'all, the seeds in your life that you plant can be a blessing or can be to your destruction. Because many of us plant weeds in our mental garden by what we say and how we treat ourselves. And a lot of the way we treat ourselves is the lack of self-respect for ourselves. So our garden, plus our mental garden, is very important. Because a lot of times the weeds will grow up with your blessings. And sometimes they look alike and you don't know what to pluck out. That's why you got to maintain your mental garden. And that's the garden of your house. And we're going to take a break and we're going to come back listening to how to build your house. You're listening to the King Raphael Show. It's getting deep. See you in a minute.
Hey, the secret's out. Hits 92.3 is now accepting submissions for brand new shows. That's right. You could become a radio personality right here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. You don't have experience? That's okay. You don't live in Georgia? That's okay. You don't know what to do now? Now that's not okay. But your girl is here to help you out. Email us today at hits923newshow@gmail.com and tell us about your potential show with Hits. Again, that email address is hits923newshow@gmail.com. Don't be last. The slots are filling fast.
Now that you have created your house, you must always maintain your home. And the principle here is whatever you mismanage, you will lose. So protect your home at all costs. Protect it against threats, internal and external. Because if you leave the door open for the devil, he'll come right on inside. You see, let me teach you something about the spirit world. The devil only has authority in areas that you give agreement to. You see, every compromise is a contract. Every temptation is an invitation. The more you gain agreement in the spirit world, the more powerful you get. Now, you see, that works in heaven and in hell. And let me share a story that will really summarize this all up. There was a guy who bought a home, and he loved his house. He loved it. I mean, he took care of the lawn. He decorated it nicely, and he lived in it. And the homeowner was so happy to live there. One day, he got a knock on the door. It was somebody offering to buy the house. And he said, man, this is my dream home. I love this house. I can't leave it. I'm keeping it. But then the guy was persistent. He came back a week later with an incentive to sell. The homeowner still told him no, but he came back weeks later with incentives, with perks, with many reasons to buy the home. And the homeowner still said, no, I'm not selling this. This is my house. So then months later, a knock at the door. This guy came back. He said, I understand that you won't sell me the house, but can I at least purchase one nail on your wall? I just want to put one nail on your wall. Just let me purchase that little space. The homeowner thought about it. He was like, well, how bad could that be? Okay, I'll let you purchase this one little nail and put it in my wall. Okay. So then he put that nail in the wall and left. And here this man come back a week later. But this time he had a carcass in a bag. and he drug the carcass in and he hung it on the wall. And the homeowner said, "What are you doing?" He said, "You gave me agreement. I can put anything on this nail." The homeowner's like, "Oh, I thought you were going to put a picture or something." He said, "I can put anything on this nail." A week went by, 2 weeks went by, maggots started forming. Everything, the house stunk, it reeked. The guy came back. He said, "Hey man, you got to take this carcass out this house. I can't even live here." He said, "No, you gave me agreement to put anything on this wall that I want with this one nail." And the homeowner ended up leaving his own house. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is, see, you can't give the devil no room, because the devil only needs one nail. You see, the one nail, sometimes it happens in sexual encounters. It happens with our lust. It happens with adultery. These are the things that give a devil one nail. That's why you can't give the devil an inch or crack or nothing to come in. See, Ephesians 4:27 says that leave no room for the devil. Means not a corner, not an inch, nothing in your life to give him room or agreement over your life. So today, I pray for you and I declare and decree that you will close every door that you have opened, that you will break every agreement that you have made, knowing or unknowingly. Today is the day that you set yourself free and you decide to give no room for the devil, not in your house or anybody's house that's in your dominion, who is close to you. Amen. Amen. Remember, y'all, I want you to keep your faith higher than your fear, your purpose stronger than your pain, and keep the devil out of your house because he has no room there. So until next week, elevate higher, and elevation is the expectation. I'm King Raphael. You're listening to the King Raphael Show. Stay blessed and stay smooth.